the scenario has been changed, right? Yes, the scenario is like something like this. Now, yesterday we had seen that CFO will get reports from CTO, and ATO will report to CTO only, right? Now today, suppose this ATO will have to report to this CFO also, right? And CFO and CTO, their roles are quite similar. Like they both have to report to CEO, right? That means CFO, COO, and all these people like CTO also, they will report to CEO, and ATO will report to both CTO and CFO. So I hope it's clear. So we have the case that CFO, that is test user 5, and ATO, that is our test user 3, and CTO, that is our test user 4. Their roles have been changed. So CTO will report to CEO, and ATO will report to CTO, and ATO will also report to CFO. So let's go to our org. So in today's session, we will learn about org-wide defaults. That means sharing settings, and after sharing settings, we will see about record sharing and public groups and queue. So these are all the things we will see today. So do you think why sharing settings? Why we need to learn about sharing settings? Sharing settings means giving some access. These things like OWD sharing settings. These things are related with giving access, record sharing, and public groups and queue. These all are related with giving some access to some person. Like here, ATO will report to CFO, and CTO has to report to CEO. So let's check this. So previously ATO was reporting to CTO. Inside CEO, there was CFO. Inside CFO, CTO, and inside CTO, it was ATO. Right. So this ATO is reporting to CTO. Now I want this ATO to report uh, CTO as well as, yes, the role of CTO has been changed, right? The role of CTO has been changed, that it needs to report to CEO. Then so first we need to change its role. So let's edit this. So this is CTO, and CTO will report to CEO, right? So this role reports to CEO. Now save this. So you can see CTO will report to CEO, like CFO will report to CEO, COO will report to CEO, and CTO will also report to CTO. And under that CTO, there is ATO, right? So ATO will report to CTO. This is in the scenario. ATO is reporting to CTO, right? And we have done this, right? CTO is reporting to CEO. Now this ATO is reporting to CTO, but this ATO needs to report to CFO as well. So uh, if we need to provide one person a couple of roles, then we need to go to sharing settings. One person can do several roles, right? So sharing settings, scroll down and you'll see there is a account sharing rules. So click on new. Here, what is the scenario? The scenario is CFO. ATO will report to CFO, right? So label it as CFO sharing. And here you can see rule type. So there are two rule types. One is based on record honor and other is based on criteria. So we'll see both these two. First, let us see about based on record honor. So here, third option is select which records to be shared. So now I want to share roles, and which role I want to share? I want to share ATO, right? I want to share ATO with the role of CFO, right? ATO, CFO, right? So yes, we did it. Now here you can see what type of access we want to give. So default access is only read only. So we can do read write, right? And here you can see opportunity and case, right? So if we do any changes in both these two, it will not going to affect, because this this account and contract. So this user has the user license as Salesforce platform, right? So Salesforce platform user will only access to these things only, account and contract. He has no access to opportunity and case, right? So either we do any changes, it will not going to affect. So leave it as was. Now save it. So according to our scenario, we did it, and here we have got a mail. Here role ATO will share role to CFO, right? So it's done. Now we will test this. So for testing, let's go to users. So test user 3 has the role of ATO, and test user 4 has the role of CTO. Test user 5 is CFO. Like this. 3 ATO, right? 4 CTO. So CTO 4 and CFO is test user 5. So log in with any user. Suppose we are logging in as test user 3, and we'll go to accounts. And we'll create some accounts. here to check this out by logging in with another user, right? So let's create a couple of accounts, like give it a name as user 3 accounts. So user 3 account 1, and save this. Create one more, user 3 account 2. So we have created a couple of accounts, and now let us see what we have created. All accounts. So you can see that we have created 2 accounts and there was 1 account previously. Now we'll log out. And log in as now developer edition. And so we have created test user under test user 3 we have created 2 accounts. Now we'll log in as test user 5 and see whether the accounts we have created in test user 3 is visible to him or not, or and do he have read write access or not. So go to users, and select test user 5 login. So here we'll search for account, and we'll select all accounts. So you can see user 5 can read, right? He can edit also, right? So user 5 can see the account of user 3, all accounts, everything, right? So we have created this and we have checked uh, all this, right? Now, so is it clear? Now I was talking about types of role. So go to sharing settings. Oh, yes, first I need to log out as test user 5 and log in as in our developer edition. So as we'll talk about sharing, there are 2 types of sharings. So there are 2 types of sharing. First one is automatic and second one is manual, right? So whatever we have done automatic sharing. Now we will do some manual sharing. So there are 2 types of sharing. First one is automatic and second one is manual. So what we have done up to now, we have done automatic sharing. Now suppose let us think about some case. Yes, suppose user test user 4 uh, and test user 5. Test user 5 needs to share his account to test user 4, right? Yes, so suppose share its account to test user 4. So CFO needs to share his account to CTO. So now we'll go to users and we'll log in as test user 5. So here you can see test user 5 login. So let us log in as test user 5. Now let's open the account. So here is user 5 account, right? So on this users right now, one user is visible. One option is also here. So here you can see one option is sharing, right? So go to sharing and here users. So we need to okay. First we need to change the role of user 5 account. Then only user 5 will see user 4. Right. So let us log in. To log in as our in our developer edition. And go to sharing settings. Yeah. So either we can do it by roles also. So let us go to roles. Setup rules. So our test user 5 is CFO. Now this role will report to CTO. So the scenario is something changed. Now we'll go to users and now login as user 5. So accounts. All accounts. So you can see now it's visible test user 4, right? So now we can select and what type of access we want to give, right? So we can give all the access and here we need to submit the record. So now you can see the honor has been changed. The honor of this 5 this account is now the test user 4, right? So now log out as test user 5. Now we need to check, uh, and for checking, we need to log in as the test user 4, because test user 5 is inside test user 4. So we need to check. So select as users and log in as test user 4. So we had seen that in test user 5's account was not visible. Now we have logged in as test user 4. So accounts and view all. So you can see test user 4 can access to everyone's account, test user 5's account, test user 3's account, right? And in his on account too. So I hope it's clear. So we were talking about, okay, let us log out as test user 4 and log in our developer edition. So let's go to sharing settings. And inside sharing settings, you can see account sharing rules. So here you can see there are two types of rules. One is based on record honor and other is based on criteria, right? So based on record honor, we have seen like the record honor of test user 5 has been changed to test user 4. Previously it was a test user 5, and after that we did some changes, and then test user 4 become the owner of test user 5, right? So we have seen about based on record honor, and now we will see about based on criteria. And when there is based on criteria, when this word comes to the picture, the thing uh, public group, right? Public group also comes. So public group, what is public group? Public group is like a group of users, right? And it can also do the same task. What a single user can do, it can also do the same task. So let's go to create a public group. So for creating public group, let's search public group in quick find box, and you can see public groups. They're new, and level suppose okay, suppose Ranchi group. Suppose this is a public group. Why public groups? We will learn also why public groups. Okay, and now we'll have to assign some users, select some members. So let's select users. So we have several users. Now select some users, navigate. Suppose I have selected this much users, and now save this. So we have created one group, right? We have created one group called Ranchi group, and we have selected some users like test user 3, test user 4, and test user 5. So these are the users in that group, right? Now suppose there is a use case. Suppose when you call in anywhere, mm, like suppose you want an LIC policy, right? And if you search online, and you'll get a number, and you call on that number. So the first thing it will ask, about what language do you want to prefer, right? You want press Hindi, press 1 for Hindi, press 2 for English, and there may be other languages also, right? So what is this? This is why they are doing this, because there may be some groups, there may be some people in different language section. Select your preferred language, then the call may be transferred to that language group people, right? So the conversation could be easier, right? So this due to this, there are groups, and in those groups there are several members, and all the members will do the same task, right? So this Y groups, that is Y group, because to make the customers work much easier, there are groups. And suppose a case, uh, yes, suppose when you call, then or suppose there is some online form filling, right? When you fill your form, when you select your city, when you select Ranchi as your city, then uh, then the record, then your record will be shared to the people from Ranchi group, right? So that's why groups are necessary. That's why groups are important, because Ranchi group is there, and they will talk in whatever language you prefer, and whatever ways you want, right? So that's why public groups are important. Now suppose there is a use case. Similarly, suppose there is a use case that whenever the billing city is Ranchi, whenever the billing city is Ranchi, uh, share any record, share a record to Ranchi group. Suppose we have a Ranchi group, and the use case is that whenever it is like some criteria, right? So it is like whenever the account billing city is Ranchi, share the record to Ranchi group. So this is a criteria. This is a criteria on which we have to work. That's why we are learning about criteria based, right? So for this, let's go to sharing settings. So select sharing settings, and similarly we'll have to select account, sharing rules, and new. So suppose name we can give as Ranchi. Uh, so let's name it as Ranchi record sharing. You can give other names, and here we need to select based on criteria. Now the field. What field? Uh, the field is billing city, right? So you can see that there are many billing, like billing city, billing country, billing latitude, longitude. So we need to specify this. So that we have specified as billing city equals, and we need to give a value is, so this is the criteria, billing city equals Ranchi, and here you can see share this record with uh, public groups, and here you can see there is one group, there are two groups, all internal users, and one group is Ranchi group. So according to our, based on our criteria, let us select this public group to Ranchi group. And here you want to give access, so read write. Now save this record. Now I will create one account. So go to sales, and in accounts, new account, and I will create it as a admin account. So this is admin account, and what according to our criteria, let us give the billing city as Ranchi, right? So billing city is Ranchi. That was in our criteria, and check whether is there any field required. No, save it. So we have created one account, and whose billing city is Ranchi. And now we can check this out. We can check this by logging in as any user. However, there are other ways also to check this. Uh, yes, you can see sharing. So go to sharing. Okay, here is an option shared with which. So you can see that public group, Ranchi group, and public group. So this account has been shared with Ranchi group people, right? So we have checked. Either you can check it by going to that users page, right? And logging is in as any user, as user 3 or test user 3, test user 4, or test user 5, anything. And you can check it whether it is showing or not, or you can check it by just going to sharing, and like this you can check. So this is the process of sharing any record. This is the process of sharing any record to with any public groups, right? Now go to all accounts, and suppose any, yes, open any account. Open suppose this account. This is the account we have saved, right? So open any other account. Uh, Suppose this account. Open it. Sharing. And here, so you can see that Ranchi group is available here. Uh, if you want to check it, you can see that there is no other sharings, right? So we can share it with Ranchi group, right? And now save it. So this record has been shared for Ranchi group people. Now, if you want to verify it, you can verify by the same process, right? Now we will learn about ownership transfer. So suppose this is this is the owner. This is the owner of this account. Suppose I want to transfer it. I want to change it. There are two ways of changing. First way is manual transfer. So for manual transfer, you can change from here. Like I want this user to be the owner of this account, right? And I want to give him all the access. So here you can see change owner. Now change it. So you can see that the user has been changed to test user 3. Now if we want to change it, we can change it test user 4 and give all the access and change owner. So you can see that test user 4 is now the owner, right? So this is a manual way of changing owner, right? And the other way is, yes, the other way, for other way we'll have to go to leads. Open any account and here you can see change owner. Here you can see two options. One option is users and other option is queues, right? So what is a queue? A queue is a group of users, right? A group of users is considered to be a queue. So suppose in our scenario, whenever you call to any customer care, to any such numbers, then your call may be transferred. Your call may be in queue if that person uh, is on another call, right? So in that case, uh, there are groups, and your call may be transferred to those groups. So here queue means a group of users. So let us create, we don't have any queue right now, right? So let us create one queue. So if we want to search, we can't get any queue because we don't have any queue, right? So let us create one queue. Go to setup. Now we'll create a queue. So go to queue. Yes, and here you can see new option. So label it as Ranchi queue. and available objects. Let us take any object. Suppose let us take lead, and let us take, okay, let us take case. Here you can see users. So suppose let us take all those users and save this record. And now let us go to our lead page and create one lead. So what is a lead? Yes, what is a lead? Lead is nothing but a prospect customer. Suppose when you call to any call center or any uh, like for policy, and there is a user, there is a person who's asking some questions to you. He will ask your name, right? So suppose XYZ here is your name. His name is not. Let us fill the mandatory fields. So suppose this is your name and your company is something ABC, and suppose he will ask about source. So anything, mm, okay, web and industry. Okay, you can leave it. And he will ask you several questions, right? So yes, you have to. This is mandatory. So is selected not contacted. So leave it as open not contacted. Now, what are the mandatory fields? So no field is mandatory now. So suppose he will ask you some questions, and according to your answer, he will fill the required fields. Now, you have not purchased his policy, right? But according to your inquiry, you have become a lead for himself, for him, right? So lead is what? Lead is nothing but a prospect customer. So you have become a lead. Now he has created a lead, right? And in his lead, if he want to change his honor, he can change honor. Why he wants to change honor? Because he want to uh, give this lead record to some queue, right? He want to give this lead record to some queue, and after that the queue members will contact him, right? So now you can see queues, and here after selecting, after searching, you can get Ranchi queue, right? So here submit it. Now his honor has been changed, right? So let's go to that account, so view all. So you can see XYZ, and if you want to edit, you can see that Ranchi queue is the new owner, right? So this call has been transferred to this queue, right? And the queue members will now, any user of that queue will now tackle this. So this is about leads. Now go to users. And now log in as a test user 1. Suppose we are logging in as test user 1. So let's go to leads. Here you can see Ranchi queue, right? So you can see that Ranchi queue is visible in the list. In the list views, it is visible. So we have not created it. I have not created it, but when I created uh, queue, right? When I created queue, list view will also got created automatically, right? So queue, this is one uh, like advantage. This is one advantage of queue, that whenever you want you create a queue, then its list view will also get created automatically. So go to Ranchi queue, and here you can see there are many options. Here one option is accept. So the user one is accepting. Select. I have not selected the record, and the user one is accepting this record. So the user one will now tackle this record, right? So the lead will get its honor as user one. This is not an open lead. Okay. Okay, this is open lead, open not contacted. So let's see this. Who's the owner of this lead? So you can see that test user one is the owner of this XYZ lead, right? I hope you understand whatever we have seen today. So we have seen about record sharing, public groups and queues today. So that is all for today.